You're listening to the Comic Crusaders Podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more. What up, everybody? It's your boy, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders Undercover Capes. Welcome to a brand new Comic Crusaders podcast. And today I'm totally excited because I have one of my fellow Comic Crusaders that's just tearing it up in film and in comics. I mean, see, he's releasing his book through one of my other Crusaders as well that created an amazing publishing press called ASAP Comics UK. Shout out to my boy Paul right there. But the creator I'm talking about today, I mean, he's done awesome articles on Comic Crusaders that could help you with your writing journey, which we're going to get into, all right? He is an actual film director, folks. When I say film, I'm not talking about digital. I'm talking about film. Kodak, feel me, son? Like an OG. And on top of that, he has an amazing comic book. Bob, Non-Union Psychic. Who am I talking about? Is the one and only. That's my dude right here. Mr. Lance Lucero. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Hey, how you doing? How you doing? I'm doing good.
I'm doing fantastic, energized, proud of my fellow homie, kicking ass, networking with my other fellow Crusaders to, bring about this amazing book that you've had out. But now we're getting this collected edition through, the Anyone label on the ASAP Comics UK. Amazing. But before all this stuff, I know some people I met before, some others. So Lance, let the folks know just a little bit about yourself, like where you from and a little bit about your background.
I'm a filmmaker and comic creator out of Denver, Colorado. I am Warehouse 9 Productions. All productions are done through Warehouse 9 exclusively. They're owned by Warehouse 9.
Nice. A real independent studio, kiddo.
A real independent studio, yeah. And it's all about entertainment. It's all about keeping entertainment alive, independent style. That's what we do, and we try to do it as best as we can, especially in this world of oversaturation. We're doing everything we can.
I get it. So let me ask you that, what are the things that inspire you, Lance? Because, I mean, you're an awesome comic creator, film creator. Like, what keeps you inspired? How do you keep moving forward?
Just the need to tell the story, the need to say, hey, I got something in my head and I want people to see it. Something off the beaten path, too. Not trying to latch on to certain genres or certain styles or repeat anything. It's like, what can I say to the world that is unique, rated O for original. I'm doing my best to try that.
I know. I mean, listen, that onion shit is so real, man. Rated O for original, that's real. I would actually really love to see that rating in real life.
I'm really pushing it. It's like, come on, there's plenty to be done. You don't need to latch onto somebody else's copywritten material to make it in this world. I mean, that's what independent's all about. It's your own voice and it's your own company. Get it out to the world.
I agree 150% on that one. So talk about a little bit about that creative bug. I mean, in this whole process, in your life journey and all, when did that creative bug hit you? And when did you finally say, okay, I got the bug, I got to create. And what was that whole experience like?
I think it hits all of us at a very young age. Being exposed to, cinema at a very young age. Seeing what it's capable of, seeing how it impacts audiences. Reading didn't matter if it was regular literature, mythology, comic books. There was everything that can inspire in this world. And then also just looking at the context of, wow, how are these people doing this? And why do I keep revisiting it? So I got to ask you
that. Was there any particular movie in your childhood that that got you interested that you rewatched 1,000 times?
It's kind of weird. We grew up in that era just before VHS, and then VHS came along.
And elaborate. Wait, Lance. You might confuse some of our young viewers here. What is a VHS?
a video cassette recorder that beat out beta tapes, which was a better format. But yeah, getting dragged to the movies as a kid. there was no filter in it either. You know, I would be taken to the movies to see anything, any crazy uncle that was around. Hey, let's grab this kid and let's take him to see Apocalypse Now or Uncommon Valor.
How old were you when your uncle took you to see that?
I mean, I was young. I was like 8, 9 years old. You know,
that's not a movies for us. Jesus Christ, not at that age.
Right. and then even drive-in movies where you would go see triple features. If you don't know what you were going to see, if it was Godzilla or horror movies, classic horror movies.
But those always scandalous red movies from back in the day.
Yeah, those great kung fu movies. You know, we grew up in a great era, and then all of that, which everybody's trying to remanufacture now, is what hit us originally. Yeah. So it is the old guard that inspired me. You know, when Coppola and Spielberg and Lucas and Scorsese and Zemeckis, Penny Marshall. I mean, the list goes on. When they were all starting. And that was getting our attention of this new blockbuster attitude of movies coming off of the 70s. So I was influenced by that. Jaws, of course, you know, there was always Star Wars, and Star Wars people started feeding me the trade magazines because they knew I would read just how it was done, miniatures. And blue screens and matte paintings, all the stuff that has been done in cinema for decades before that, but how it was becoming more perfected back then. It woke my eyes to what could be done cinematically. But then there are movies, you know, like A Godfather, like A Conversation, A Treasure of the Sierra Madre, things like that just started to make me go, wow, there's more to movie making than just action sequences. I gotta ask here though. I mean, you mentioned some very legendary movies. Like, how early did you become a cinemaphile? Because those are cinema films. Those are not just regular movies that you just mentioned. I mean, those are like some uber classics on that can't even be replicated today. I think the right way. No, they can be, and I was exposed to it by an older movie crowd. You know, my family's an older family, and they love movies. They love cinema.
They were always a fan like that of movies.
Exactly. I mean, nice. at any given moment, you know, my mom would want to see a Western movie, or there'd be a Western movie on TV, and if she's not watching football, she's watching the Western Channel. Still, you know, I can walk into the house and go, "You're watching Rio Bravo again." You know, I mean, it's. Being exposed to all of that, the Clint Eastwood and everything, the dollar movies, Sergio Leone. So a lot of this stuff I was exposed to at a very young age, and it just struck me as like watching a moving painting.
Oh my God, bro. You got me there. You know, like Clint Eastwood was my favorite, Lee Van Cleef, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Oh my God, great actors, great spaghetti westerns. That's my joy. And of course, horror.
Well, we were on the ground floor of that, you know.
No, we were. I mean, when you mentioned VHS, I laughed because the day that my father finally bought us a goddamn VCR, a video store just opened on the corner. Let me tell you, I became their number one customer. That the lady knew, Alex, we have new horror today.
Exactly, and it was the same way here. But also, I was that lucky kid that was a new movie's opening, and I may not have even known what it was. And next thing you know, I'm going to see First Blood. You know,
oh, wow. You saw it in the theater? Stop lying.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I wish I could have seen that in the theater.
I mean, you know, Raiders of the Lost Ark, whatever. It didn't matter. I was at a movie theater, and when movie theaters, THX Sound, plush movie theaters, it was an event to go to a movie, and people were respectful, and you were able to watch, you know, films. In their purest state. I wouldn't have replaced that time in my life for anything, because that was heavily influential. And then, of course, when you look on the literature side, I mean, look what we had in the Frank Millers and the Alan Moores, and the list goes on of what we were influenced by. And I always looked at it and said, man, these guys are really good, but you know, I want to do what they do, but I don't want to do what they're doing.
Not in that method, yeah.
Yeah, I got it, but I was like, this is pretty cool, but I think there's enough stories in this world that can be capitalized on without having to rehash anything. Even back then, I was thinking that. I was like, you know what? I got some stories to tell. I can do some fun stuff maybe, and maybe people will even like it. I don't know.
I don't know how you feel about it, but I really like the approach that a lot of companies are beginning to take where, okay, let's not do a reboot. but let's do a sequel. Now, what I mean by that, for example, the Evil Dead TV series that came out, right, based off the movies. The new Scream movie is not a reboot, but is a sequel, inviting back the original cast. I mean, when you take that approach, that it's not a reboot, and you're adding to the mythology of the story, I love it. Even with Halloween, if you see it, I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis was all over Halloween Kills, right? But yet, when we watch the movie, she's not there because they're saving it for Halloween Ends.
Right. I mean, branding. It's some people, they take it a little too far. I don't think we need to milk things for 40, 50 years. I mean, there's plenty out there.
You think that Halloween should have been done already then?
To be honest with you, I was done with Halloween 1. John Carpenter did it right. Why revisit it? I saw Halloween 2, and then I think I dabbled in Halloween 3, which was interesting.
3 had nothing to do with anything. I went,
right.
Huh?
And then after that, I'm like, I'm done. Why do I need to keep going backwards? Why do I need to keep seeing the same imagery? Why do I need to keep saying that same white mask? Why do I need to keep seeing this?
Oh, the mask does evolve. It's not the same mask.
Oh, it's not Captain Kirk anymore. I know.
Exactly. Exactly. It's evolved. It's evolved over time. So we're talking movies and stuff, but let's get into the real deal right here, because you're releasing the graphic novel of that hit comic book you had, Bob, Non-Union Psychic, via ASEC Comics UK label Anyone World, right?
Yes.
So let's talk about that a bit. Let me also do a screen share, folks, so you got to see the awesome imagery behind this coming. And look at this awesome stuff too, because I mean, boom! You got the movie studio, you got the comic books. Let's begin to talk a little bit about Bob. Now, I have access to some cool pictures. Right, Renegade Psychic, professional hairstylist.
Right.
Explain, Lance, explain. What's going on here? Who is this guy?
He's the guy that defies gatekeepers. He's the guy that's not going to wait for the studio or the publisher or the agent to accept him. He's that guy. He's a true independent. So, it started off. This is a 21-year journey for Bob.
21 years you've been working with Bob?
Yeah, the screenplay. Wow. I wrote that screenplay in 2000, and it landed on a couple of studio tables, but it was radical. It was new.
Wait a minute. Were you pushing to do this as a type, like a show or a film?
An actual feature film.
Oh shit! Cool.
So that's where it all started, and it was
okay. Wait. Why did you go that route? Was it just because of your interest in film? I want to make a movie, and how the hell did you turn this into a comic?
Well, I had just finished doing at that time the final edit of my feature film, Hunting for Fish. So film was it. That was
great film, folks.
Yeah, that's and that once again still that as well as a 20-year journey. So, wow. And I guess the idea is independence sometimes takes time. You don't need to sell your soul to get anywhere. Just do it and do it right.
I hope not. Jesus Christ, because if you got to sell your soul to get that fame, bro, you know what? My condolences already. You're going to lose out of your family, apparently, when it comes to those deals.
Right. There's no point. So the idea was I got to keep the feature film train rolling. The screenplay writing aspect of my skills, I got to keep that rolling. Now we're going back 21 years. I'm thinking, that was... the internet was still in its infancy. You still had gatekeepers. You still had studios, agents. You still had to get into that system somehow.
You still got gatekeepers at the end of the day, though. I mean, so many hashtags that end in gate. I don't know how these people even feel comfortable using that type of verbiage.
I don't like it because, in a sense, it shuts out the independence.
Yeah, and who made you a gatekeeper to begin with? Like, for people to use that, I really hate any hashtags that end in a gate because no one has made you a defender. This is for everybody, and if you don't like it, that's your opinion. Let others, discuss it, and let's do this in an open forum. If you're a real person, to put your opinions out there.
Right, and the idea is to get into some kind of entity. Which kind of validates a lot of people. so that they can produce their work. And I also think, well, you understand, you get into a big corporate entity, you may be producing work, but it may not be the work you want.
Exactly, because you're going to be subject to their rules. So how is that you being independent? How is that having any creative freedom when you are subject to rules? Okay, well, I'm going to give you access to this, but you can't do this, that, the other. Nah, right. Bro. That's not, when you stifle creativity, you're not going to get a good product.
Exactly. So the idea is, independence. I mean, I don't want to be a run and gun anything. Sure, in some cases it would be fun, but if I want to make a film, I'm just going to make the film. I'm not going to wait for validation. I'm not going to wait for acceptance. So that's the running theme behind Bob, non-union psychic. He has every opportunity to get into the psychic union if they will accept him. But if they don't accept him, guess what? He's going to have to be his own entity, which is what he does.
So let me ask you there. I mean, you that's the kind of an emphasis, Bob, non-union psychic. I mean, is the emphasis that he's trying to get into a union, or that he just doesn't give a shit whether he's in or not?
Well, you know how it is. The underlying theme of like family pressures and what have you. Okay. His great grandfather was associated with the psychic union. And in order to get prestige and be legitimate in anything, a lot of people think you need to be attached to an entity. It doesn't matter if it's a union, a guild, a clique, a club.
A website?
A website. I mean, it's that whole idea of, well, wait a second, is just to be myself and to prove I can be a screenplay writer, I have to be associated with a guild or anything?
Yeah.
I mean, I understand what the protections are. I understand the validity of it, but it's not a marker of your skill set.
And your skill, your talent and your skill. I think it's talent and skill there, because again, there's so many talented people that just don't care about being part of a greater landscape like a union,
Right. And at one time, it was very enticing for me. It was like, oh, what do I need to do this? And then understanding that, well, wait a second, do I need to go that route?
Do you really want to give a percentage of your goods for people that are actually doing nothing for you anyway?
It's a tricky thing. You're absolutely right. It's a tricky thing.
I'm not trying to disunion. Yeah, there are some unions that do great work and actually do help, the people that participate in it. But there are some unions that are there just that it's cliquey. And I get what you mean from that.
Right. And it's just the idea of, it's a metaphor. Non-union is a metaphor of saying, look, you don't have to be accepted to any higher power to exercise your creative will. And that's the underlying theme of Bob. And you'll see it throughout the trilogy. You'll see him even working with them. You'll see how that they actually, after a while, want him, but he's kind of like, well, you know what? I think I'm going to do my own thing.
I don't need you, mother effers.
At the end of the day, it's all about true talent, which is the name of the first book. True talent.
You should have called him Omega. Goddamn, brothers like me, I don't need you guys. I'll form my own joint and show you guys how it's done and show positivity for everything. I love it. So. What was it about the hair, man? Because I see you have a fabulous head of hair, bro. And now Bob happens to be a hairstylist. I mean, what's going on here?
it was one of those things of how you look at a lot of comic book characters, and there are a lot of cheats to the character that give them access to things that a normal hero wouldn't have. And a normal hero could be anybody that does something good on the street. No supercomputers, no trust fund, no mansions, no cars. Doesn't have that. So what is?
This is not Bruce Wayne.
This is not Bruce Wayne. There's no Fortress of Solitude.
He's not even Peter Parker, because he went from poverty to being a CEO out of nowhere.
Right, and the idea is well, this is a guy that has another skill set, and it happens to be giving people confidence, cutting their hair, make them look good. And that's what he wants to focus on, because, the psychic side of him, there's a duality. It does make him really uncomfortable to have the ability just to see a little bit more than everybody else does, to feel that energy. So being a barber, being a hairstylist, His bat cave is his barbershop.
Nice.
But guess what? It's also his revenue stream, and it's how he lives. It's a skill he can take anywhere.
So he's
anywhere.
not just someone that is just out there cutting it, but he's also an entrepreneur going through that journey too.
Exactly. He's building something from nothing, all by himself with another skill set.
How deep is that, yo? That's beautiful.
So he's just cutting hair. He wants people to feel good about themselves. And if need be, he can do it anywhere. He can do it freelance. He can travel the world. But the point is he has a home base.
I gotta ask you, look at his hair. Like, where the inspiration is there? Because you got this dude with like this 50s hairstyle, but then he got those 70s Stan Lee shades. You know what I mean?
I sent to Francisco Resendes, our amazing artist. Shout out to him.
Fire, yo. That's one thing about this book. The art is like effing amazing. And I need you to tell us the story how you even found this homie right there.
I mean, it was a collaborative effort with Adam Foley, co-writer and editor.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Adam, kiddo.
The guy that basically taught me how to make comics. I'm the movie guy. He's the comic guy.
Okay, yeah. I need to know this story, Lance, because it's not something I haven't heard yet from the Crusaders side of it. It's like, how did you even get with Adam, and how did he, kind of help you in the journey?
We're going back quite a few years. I heard about a kid that got an F on a short story in a creative writing class through a colleague of mine, and I said. And he recommended, you need to read this story that this kid wrote. It's pretty awesome. I said, I don't want to read it. We're doing our own stuff. I'm writing stuff. I got other movies to make. And this colleague kept pestering me about it.
He kept nagging you. Get real. He kept nagging you.
and then he was like, no, man, it's World War II. And I was like, what do you mean this kid wrote something World War II? I said, all right, I'll check it out. So I read this amazing story that he wrote, and I said, well, we got to meet him. And at the same time, he was getting published in Shooting Star Comics. Does that even exist anymore?
Anthology? I don't know if they do. I don't know if they. I haven't gotten anything from them in a long time, so I'm speculating maybe they don't. But hey, Adam.
Right. and then he actually brought his proof sheets of the story he was getting published in that book, and I got to see the actual proof sheets actually drawn on the big proof sheets, and I was like, all right, this kid's got something going on. And he knew comics inside and out like I know movies. Wow. So that short story he had, we turned into a screenplay, and it raised some eyebrows in the industry, but people didn't want to touch it because it was pretty risky. It was pretty hardcore. We got a lot of attention all those years ago. But
you should have went to Trauma, man. Larry Kaufman to do anything, bro.
I know, he offered me money for hunting for fish 20 years ago, and I said jump in a lake. I ain't going there. No way.
Oh God,
no way.
Wait, may I ask, was the offer at least decent?
No. It was like a quarter of what my budget was. So I was like,
no. Larry, how dare you say my Crusader?
I mean,
to play, bro.
I forgot about that. That's going back. We're going back 20 years on that. But that's how it came together with Adam, and then we lost track of each other until about 2013-14, and I reconnected with him with the idea of what can we do with these screenplays that we have. And he originally wanted to do a graphic novel of the screenplay we wrote together. But I said, I don't think that's commercial enough just yet. So I had Bob floating around. I sent him the screenplay, and he was like, yes, without a doubt, this is what we need to adapt. So book one, True Talent, is basically a very condensed version of the screenplay. And so Bob number 0, True Talent, is the template for the screenplay. And then we get into Bob 1 and 2, which all tie into the same storyline, but are completely original one-shots. So, it's not designed in a sense to be serialized. We were thinking, let's do these as one-shots, but still tie in the world and the characters. I love it.
You're doing those old school one and dones that all of us old school comics like used to love within a run. Sometimes you get a 3-issue story. Sometimes you get that one and done story, which was amazing. You're like, yo, that was fire, give
that's
us a
why
break between stories. So was that intentional then?
It was the first book was 100% intentional. Book 0 was all about let's condense this screenplay and introduce people to the world of Bob. That's the 0 part of it. Wonderful. And then we did book 1, The Legend of Legros, which was like, how do we just up the game and just totally take ourselves out of whatever we were doing in book 0. Let's get into 18th century France. Let's get into massive cursed hair. Let's get into magical scissors. Let's go nuts with the classical style. And then we get book 2.
And talk about magical scissors.
The real deal.
Oh, look at it. That's real metal, everything.
It's real working scissors. It's real scissors now. I don't think it'll cut hair 100%. But
hold on. Let's put it up there, yo. Let me take that off. Hey, look at that, yo. Fuego.
That's the real deal.
Shout out to LA. Yeah, happy launch day. Yo, wait a minute. Is today launch day?
This is all about the Big Book of Bob.
Hey, that's right, folks. Today is launch day. And again, this is why we have them. You got to show me more energy, Lance. Come on now. You got to show get that. It's right there. Yo. You see that? You go to anyoneworld.com and you can pick up that bad boy today. But tell me how gorgeous these scissors are and tell me the story behind this whole design, Lance. What's popping here? This is great.
That's all Francisco Resendiz design right there in the comic books. We had a little bit of snag in the design.
What do you mean by that? Talk about it. Because again, people also got to understand that in the journey, there's going to be bumps in the road, right? So there was a snag, and how did you deal with that snag?
Well, the design, artistically, you have right-handed and left-handed scissors.
Okay.
So we were noticing that they were a little ambidextrous at first, and we were like, no, we need to have an actual schematic of the scissor design as right-handed scissors, because he's right-handed, why not?
Okay.
And that's what it's going to be. So he came up with this, and this is a supplemental material in the new book. You get to see the scissor designs.
Gotcha.
Now, these exact scissor designs I sent to a colleague of mine in Los Angeles who's actually going to play the real-life Legros in our movie we're making.
No way! Do you have a picture of homie I need to see?
I do not. He's the only guy I have a picture of yet.
I would love to see, because we already see what homie look like in the comics, folks. I'm dying to see. If you already chose an actor, I'm dying to see. What's his name? Can we share that?
It's Chris Rink, Christopher Rink.
Yay! Whoa, Chris, aka Bob. Pleasure to meet you.
Yep. He made the scissors. He's a very intelligent engineer. The guy can build anything. And I handed him the task, and I gave him the schematics. I gave him Francisco's schematics and said, "Could you make a pair of scissors?" And he did.
So wait! You fucking me up here. There was schematics that Francisco came up with for this whole joint too?
Absolutely. We need it. It's like anything, if Batman has a Batarang, I'm sure there's a schematic so that you can get it right.
You know what this reminds me of? You remember those old school Marvel Universe comics that would give you the mad origins and then break down the headquarters and the weapons?
Right. And it would be its own little chapter.
Hell yeah, yo.
It's the same thing.
Deep like a mofo on the usage and the schematics. Like, can I really make this?
And that's what's the whole thing. So as a supplemental material, extra art in the Big Book of Bob, which is launching today, of course.
Yeah. How do you feel about that, kid, or through anyone?
Dude, it's sobering. Finally, it's like now people can have a book in their hands, pages to flip. Hardcover, paper cover.
Hey, shout out to
for
Paul.
Real.
Yeah,
there's
man.
Paul. Yeah, he's the man.
Yeah, that's the man right there behind ASAP Comics UK, folks, man. If you guys are creators and watching this, reach out to Paul, man. He's always willing to listen to a pitch. He's creating a tremendous independent comic universe. Listen, the homie's going to be challenging other publishers real soon. I see it because he has a tremendously talented team, and it encompasses not just comics. He's a smart player. He's learned a lot from what I'm trying to do too. So I love it, man. That he's my homie. Love you, Paul.
It works. Yeah, it's a great team, and I'm happy to be a part of the Anyone world. I mean, this was it was great. Struggling struggling in the oversaturated market of independent comics was tough with Bob. But I already had the Big Book of Bob complete 3 years ago, and it was just waiting for the right time for it all to come together. And sometimes your time is your time. Like I said, it's been a 21-year journey for Bob. Your time is your time. You can't force it. And it's not dated in any way.
Yeah, your time does come. I have people in my life, for example, that are like, "Oh, you've been doing this so long. Like, what's going on?" I'm like, dude, you got to understand, like, sometimes these journeys could take 10, 15, 20. But once you make it, then it's like done. You know what I mean? But you got to be consistent, because part of the journey is just that. Are you here, to try and just be famous, or are you really here down for the journey like I am? I'm here to share people's experiences, people's journeys, people's stories, like you. I mean, we started out where you were just this comic book creator, like, yo, can you guys review this? And next thing you know, we connected on a higher level where now you even became a contributor. How beautiful is that? And now you're somebody that I am so proud of, because I've, since you become a contributor, I've seen how you've risen. It's been, just amazing,
Yeah, it's been a great journey. I can't, it's been amazing. And of course, surround yourself with like-minded people, people that are go-getters. You gotta, as we know, you surround yourself with the like-minded people, and it's gonna happen. There's a strategy. There's a plan. Sure, there's friendships that develop, but on the same token, guess what? We got to keep rocking. We got to keep moving forward.
We got to help one another, achieve those next steps, and if we have the resources, let's use each other's resources to achieve the goals we want to achieve. And let's see that this is what I love about this new age. It is collaboration, it is real love and trying to help everybody else, connect. So if people believe in that, we can move forward so much faster. You know what I mean?
And not only that, it's independence isn't necessarily a battle cry and a stream against mainstream. To me, it's saying, look, we can do work just as awesome, if not better. So don't ignore us and don't put us down. Don't try and shun us or buy us out. We're part of the industry, and independents aren't going to go away. It's just, once again, who the cream rises to the top. You got to keep rocking. If you don't, it could have been easy to give up 21 years ago. It could have been easy to give up 10 years ago, but we didn't. We just people love the stories, and we went forward with it.
You don't give up, man. Consistency, belief, again, you just got to go forward. Everything has an audience, and it'll be found. And when you're creating great products, you have a great team. It only shows. I mean, and folks, you got to see also his articles. I mean, Lance doesn't just do his own comic books and film movies, but being a writer of comics, he covers some crazy retro movies, right?
Right.
And again, like I've stated, you've shared awesome content, regarding writing skills and whatnot, preparation. And, folks, right there, comiccrusaders.com, you're looking for just Lance Lucero. Just do that search on the website. You're going to see all his amazing contributions that are here to help you with your journey, too. I mean, this man is just amazing. He is about giving. Right here, yo. Look at that, bro. You're a champ, Lance. They're telling you, brother.
Hey, that's awesome. Thanks.
Thank you for being and supporting indie. They're telling you. Look at the love, brother.
It's all about it. That's what it's all about. And even the comics how to. To me, I don't believe in hoarding information or hoarding my journey. I tell you exactly how I did it. There's no hiding. There's no lying. There's no posturing about it. It's like, this is the work that we put into these books to get them out to the world. And now, boom, it's taking the next step. It's this compilation. It's this Big Book of Bob. It's all of it.
I want to give you your flowers, kiddo, because that's truth there. Because, again, folks, all you got to do is look up the comics how-to. And there's 2 volumes thus far that he's created. And it's such great information. It does guide you in a journey. He has shared his personal journey. And it's amazing to see that he shared this. he so eloquently puts it out there. You could really, feel it. You resonate with what he's going through, and you learn about what it is, to take those steps. It's so informative. So I just want to say thank you, Lance, for doing that for Comic Crusaders, but just doing that as a human being to share that story, that knowledge. Not many people are willing to do that, as you stated. Like, some people agree that you see me though on the chat. I find out about, yo, guys, look. I'm quick to share because I think that's the only way we could grow. Not just as a team, but it's just as individual human beings. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you're saying. I mean, granted, it's all there. What anybody does with it after that is their problem. But yes. I'm laying it all on the table and saying, hey, look, if I can do it, anybody can do it. Remember that? Remember Vincent Olin from The Last Resort?
Yeah, talk about this, bro, because you were talking about doing the Legro stuff. I mean, these are such awesome stuff. And, PA, hold on. I got to put this on screen real quick because PA, you see? 100% agree. Creative collaboration is key. Learn from each other. And it's
absolutely
true. That's what it is. This is what it is for me. I know Paul learned from me. And you know what? And me seeing Paul's journey, I've learned a lot. Heck,
right.
You might even see my little Comic Crusaders folks on this label. Because if there's any label I'm going to commit to, it's going to be, ASAP. And that's where I want to put my Comic Crusaders comic at. For real.
Absolutely. And it's once again, if someone's knocking it out of the ballpark, like you and Paul, and like the
not
two
just
of you.
Me and Paul, it's everyone. We got, Shadewin, we got you.
Oh yeah, the list goes on.
We got Johnny killing it on OTP, TDC, MPP.
We got a great team.
Johnny's done over 2,000 reviews. The machine, kiddo. We have a team that does nothing but fucking put their heart out there for the love of the culture, man.
And when you collaborate and
exactly,
you see what people are up to,
and we support. We have that
support.
We have that new collaborator because we're going to be covering a lot more music. We have JJ Kimeris, and she did amazing with tunes, and our fellow Crusader Caleb. I don't know if you guys saw that interview.
I saw that today. That was pretty good.
Yeah, she's amazing, bro. So I can't, I'm very happy to have her as part of our Comic Crusaders team and for the journey. It's going to be great because, again, you got to just keep expanding, bro. Music is a part of comics as anything else, right?
It's pop culture.
Yeah, it is. I know.
It's art.
It's part of the art, man. I don't want to listen to Spawn. I need some metal,
Yeah. Yeah.
So talk about this. These awesome videos you got on Vimeo, brother.
Well, it started off as an experiment, like
what do you mean, of course. Experiment? Talk about these experiments. You are like the fucking Einstein of film. So talk about it for me.
When we did Bob 1, we based Le Gros de Romigny in French. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. He was a real guy. He was a real hairdresser in the French court in the 18th century.
Oh, wow.
And yes, so we based a character on him in the comic book, but we turned him into an 18th century paranormal adventurer with his prestigious scissors that has a signature on it that Bob gets. It's on that poster right there.
Ah, okay.
So, I'm thinking, well, I want to do another short film, but I want to tie it into the Bob world, but I don't want to do like Bob exclusively. So instead, we went back, to 18th century France, and we're going to use that character, and we're creating a new film to tie into the Bob books.
Oh, dope! Yeah, look at these hats, yo, folks, and he makes these things like real, yo. This is fire.
Yes, all the costumes are made by Laurel. I do the hair constructs with the models. How wild do you have to be? You got to stand on a table and yell, "Look at me." Here we are. So I got these posters, and every time we shoot with somebody, and we haven't shot with Chris Rink yet. When he gets out here in about a week and a half, we will finally have his photo shoot. We will finally have a new post. Every actor in this film gets their own poster.
Oh, we're nice. That's awesome.
So everybody has their own poster thus far, but we haven't photographed it.
What in the fuck is going on here? Look at these.
That's a real birdcage on her head. You know what I mean? That wig, I think, weighs 2 pounds. It's an amazing wig.
A 2-pound wig, kid.
Yeah.
Word.
Well, the cage was metal. I couldn't find a plastic one, and all the fake birds inside of it, and then the bird cage off to the side. See, this is what Legros does. He makes these people look good, but it's all a front for him to fight paranormal energy. It's all just a front.
Gotcha, but it's also so fashionable. Like I could really see this shit on Runaways, okay?
We needed to be, and here's the funny thing: we have
with the exception of this one. This is not no.
Yeah, we have the servant. You know, we have Freddie Solano playing the servant, and I'm like, you just got to be a disgruntled servant. You're putting up with all this. So that's what this all came about.
That picture like displays that on 100. Like, oh my effing God, what am I here?
Right, and that's the duality of the characters. You know, you have a foppish hairstylist, you have his servants, his assistants. You have the two queens, the prima donnas. So the idea is making this film as big as possible, tie it into the book so that it's kind of like circular. If people see this short film, they'll go back and check out the book, and vice versa. And we're doing all this Jim Henson style.
What is this?
That's the opening shot. Obviously, we're not in France. Obviously, I don't have a carriage. That's a miniature.
That's not the Swiss Alps and shit.
No, that's the Rocky Mountains. That castle is Cherokee Ranch and Castle here in Colorado with some touch-ups, some photoshopping. But we shot that little carriage there at a baseball field, pulled it on a real wire. Carriage? It's only a little tiny thing. It's only this big.
Really?
Yeah, I can't afford a carriage and horses.
Hey, bro, you're in Colorado. What do I know? You got farms out there to probably rent.
That's true. But this is the style of the movie. If you love Labyrinth, if you love Time Bandits, if you love all that stuff, this is what this film's going to be. Shot on film, not HD, shot on film, and it's going to tie into the Bob books. And it's historical. If you really want to look up Legros, the dude, look him up. He existed for real.
I love it. So there you go, folks. Look, right there. You can get your copy of Bob right now, right? Which includes 0 through 2, right?
Yes. 3 books.
Any one word. 3 books, bro. 3. So do we have a choice? Hardcover, softcover? What is it?
Yes, you have prestige hard copy, you have paperback, you have digital. And you're going to also get a lot of supplemental materials with this book. You're going to get extra art. You're going to get extra art. You're going to get character designs. You're going to get a missing scene that was scripted that we didn't put in Bob 2 because page count was getting too high. I really wish we could have. I would have loved to see what Francisco would have drawn for this. It would have been amazing, but we couldn't do it. So we put the missing scene in its scripted form in the book. Nice. You're going to get some inside info on Coiffier Extraordinaire, Waiting for Legros, the third installment of the Legros series, basically. You're going to get a lot more with this book. And you know what else you're going to get? You're going to get all the covers. You know how graphic novels, they say they never give you the covers. You have to buy the single issues to get the covers, and then you get the graphic novel, and it's usually chapterized, but it doesn't have you're getting all the covers. We're not going to skimp on anything in this book.
Oh, no skimping, folks. You hear this shit? They ain't cheap.
No skimping. So you're going to get a lot out of this book. And of course, good stories, good art, a good team. So independence rise, man. This is what we're about, This is what we're about.
That's what it should be, because I know, ASAP is doing their thing. Paul took a bold step to say, you know what, I want to do my own thing, and it encompasses, regular comics, adult comics, kid stuff, actual books, So it's like, what was my copy? Is it here? It's probably over here now. I move things too much. I keep organizing too much. I'm fucking psycho that way.
Yeah, I got mine back here, but I'm tied to the. I'm tied with earbuds. I switched to earbuds.
We're both out of goddamn reach of the. Oh wait, here it goes. Wait a minute. Fuck that. There you go. Look at this, folks. Look at this.
Yeah, points of villainy, points of virtue.
And then check this out. So, folks, you can talk about some villains. I love me my villains, but then if you're all about the heroes, just flip that book. Wepa! You know what I mean? How awesome in this, and that's a shout out right here, because this is PA right there, Paul has been in the chat, and also LA So thank you for your creativity, for creating such an awesome book right here that leads to so many things. This was so creative. So
they're
God
knocking it
bless
out of
you
the
guys,
ball.
man.
They're knocking it out of the ballpark.
Yeah,
They,
I'm very proud. Like again, like my God bless my deceased creator, Gar Cremona used to say, is like Omega is the Papa Bear, right? So for real, I do feel like a very proud Papa Bear of you, Paul, Shay, Wayne, Johnny. I mean, everybody in the team, JJK, everybody. Because wow, we've created something special. So I'm very proud of each and every single one of you. So look at this, perfect timing. I was just asking your last Saturday by ASAP Comics. So there you go. They're gonna check out the website. Thank you, Shaka. You should, because you're gonna get amazing books from not just Lance, but my boy David and Paul and oh my God, LA and oh my God, what's the rest of the team? Lance, please.
I mean, it's a great group of people. Yeah,
it's a huge team. Paul did what I did for his publishing press. So that's what I'm saying. I'm so proud of the kiddo, man. It's like, he living the dream as we all should.
Right. So once again, you align yourself with the people that are kicking ass in their world, and it's like, well, here I am, and here's what I have to offer. So if you put your hand out to the world, don't be afraid to be bit. You got to put your hand out. You got to be able to say, I'm here. So as our collaborations grew, this is how it's turning out. And all of us are in it for each other, but not just each other. It's all about transcending. Let's get the art out there.
Exactly. Getting the art, sharing, and building one another up to make sure that we could each reach those big next levels. And hopefully maybe one day I'll be one of those dudes getting shot in a Lance Lucero film. Hey, I'll be that Puerto Rican that gets killed. Hey, no problem, bro.
You never know.
I'll be a dead body for you in the film. I offer myself up. I'm not a great actor, but I could play a dead body, bro. No
all right. You're the first one I'll call.
If you want to shoot me, if you want to get me shot, like Vince McMahon style back in the day, I'll be your heel. No problem.
Cool.
So, Lance, what else we got going though in the future for you? What are we anticipating? What else?
Well, we have the Big Book of Bob now finally on the proverbial table. It's ready to go there. We also have 4 other stories written. So, to continue this, it's not a problem.
Wait a minute. Scoop, folks. This is a scoop right here. So, are we getting brand new Bob stories via ASAP?
We are planning on that. Yes, they're scripted. They're ready to go. One of the stories in particular is now going to be the first spinoff of this Bob series. So there's another title.
Spinoff.
There's another title.
The universe begins to grow.
Yes. So these books have been in place for a while now. And it's just a question of finding the right time to do it. So we're on the verge. Bob, we want to continue. We're going to try to continue. And beyond that, it's the films. The Last Resort will be playing at the Denver Underground Film Festival, I believe.
Hey, you hear this, folks?
November 19th. So we finally made it into a festival in Denver. I was
film, right?
No, this is the short film, Last Resort.
Short film. The Last Resort. Oh, guys, you're gonna love this. If you love spaghetti westerns, black and white, this is right up your alley.
Yeah. So we're still rocking the festival circuit with the Last Resort and the Unmentionables. We're in production on Coiffiere Extraordinaire, waiting for the
What's going on for Hunting for Fish, so people can see that full feature?
Hunting for Fish is in the hands of Adler and Associates Entertainment. They're their distribution company. It's in their hands. So it's up to them to get that out to the world. They're doing what basically I don't have the time or don't want to do. But what I really like is they're showcasing film. They're showcasing a feature film shot on film, an indie, which is unfortunately some people are the modern distributors, modern producers, modern studios. I'm not going to say young. I'm going to say modern. Are scratching their heads about film. Like, oh my gosh, what do you mean film?
Wait. Okay, what is it about film that you believe scares them so much as opposed to digital?
One, I think it's truth. Anybody who is anybody can call themselves a filmmaker. And when I mentioned that I shot a film on film, people back up a couple steps and say, well, what do you mean you shot it on film? I'm like, well, I did what had been done the last 120 years. I did what you love, everything. What do you love? E.T.? What do you love?
Yeah.
Rambo? You know, I did it like that.
Tape, motherfuckers, tape.
Right. And it's like, you know, don't be afraid of it. I'm just doing what the skill set calls for a filmmaker. I have nothing against HD. I have nothing against digital. But there are a lot of people out there shooting HD digital calling themselves filmmakers. And I'm like, well, wait a second. Digital has its own look. It has its own feel. Embrace it. Be a digimaker. Be a digital movie maker. But you are not putting celluloid through the gate of a camera and exposing it to light. You're not doing that chemical process. Now, a lot of people are going to complain and get mad. Well, we're equal fitting. No, we're equal fitting as storytellers. We're equal fitting as when it comes to showcasing our imagery, but we are doing two completely different processes that look completely different.
They do.
And actually enhance or de-hance whatever story you're trying to tell.
Okay, I agree 175% on that comment. Because, for example, Evil Dead was a movie that was on film, right?
Absolutely.
I grew up and loved this effing fucking movie. But the day that they upgraded that shit to like an HD quality, and I, like an asshole, decided to check it out, I hated the movie.
Well, you know,
I cannot see this on digital. It's just everything looks so fucking fake. I just can't take it. I can't take it. I love film because it hides so many things. It's rugged. It's dirty, but it's real. I mean, I look at back like Toby Hooper, you know what I mean? With the OG Texas Chainsaw. That shit is a fucking grimy film, son. Grimy. And it's great.
And it feels grimy because that's the way it's captured. Mm-hmm. You know, and film in its purest form is spotless. It's an amazing. Like the other day, I started watching a schlock, 1973, John Landis's first movie.
Oh my God, he says schlock. Oh my God, I haven't seen that shit.
I haven't seen that probably in 4 decades.
Is coming, Alflix.
So. But I was still amazed, you know, as low budget and actually as bad as it is. I mean, Rick Baker did the makeup he did that King Kong, American Werewolf in London. He did the schlock makeup.
Wow.
But I'm watching it and going, wow, you know, it's really well photographed. I mean, the image is amazing. I'm like, it's a very beautiful image, you know. Of course, it's and this is on the low end, and I'm thinking, wow, if this is on the low end, you know, it's pretty amazing what they accomplished. And we've seen this throughout history, and it doesn't matter, film, HD, music, comic books. If you try to do anything for $1.95, it's going to look like it's done for $1.95.
Dude, I agree with especially the comic side. When you see the original comic and then you get the recolored versions, if you will, it takes away so much sometimes from the OG art that it's just like, I can't. This looks too kiddie-ish. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. And that was a thing. In a sense, you know, even with Bob, we had different style. When our top 3 artists, we were like, well, which way do we want to go with this? You know, it is a comedy, but when it gets horror, it gets graphic. Yes, it's like, well, what kind of imagery do we want to see on a T-shirt? What kind of imagery do we want to promote? So we went that kind of cartoon / kind of a little manga. Just a tiny bit.
And the words you just used, saying cartoonish and manga, if the opportunity was offered to do Bob as an animated feature, would you go for it?
Yes. And there was interest at one time from a company that approached me and were like, well, this comic book, we're interested in animating it. And I gave them the books and they were like, wow, it's too complicated. We think it's too complicated. We need it to be more simple. And I'm like, what do you mean more simple? The rejection was the complexity of the character and the storylines. They wanted to dumb it down just to imagery, and I'm like, well, you can't just have imagery. You got to have story.
This is not the 90s when we went just to the art and they fucked the writers, right? Because the 80s was about writers over art. 90s was about art over the writers. And then we got into the 2000s. We got to that equal balance. So let's keep that.
We and that was the thing. So I was a little surprised by it. I was like, oh, they loved it. They were like, this is absolutely amazing. But the character, we need to scale it back. Audience. And I'm like, well, don't sell your audiences short. They're pretty smart.
Haiti says they were lazy. Simple.
Most likely, even though it was something prepared and ready to go. Being prepared, that's also part of being an independent producer. You have to be prepared. And if you're not prepared, somebody may dangle that carrot in front of your face. And if you're not ready, you're only selling yourself short. Be ready.
Listen, be ready. Say yes. Listen, how many times I'm not okay? To be honest, though, with that, sometimes when it is presented, make yourself ready. Because if it's presented, don't say no. Don't say no. For real. Like, you know what? Are you ready? Motherfuckers, just answer it yes, even if you aren't. And make yourself goddamn ready. Because that's what I've been presented with A-list talent. You know how nervous I am before I do anything? I may not show it during a podcast. But, when I talk to someone that's been doing things, my palms are sweating. And my wife's like, you okay? I'm like, yeah. Just gotta, let me go through this. This is like a whole process. It's crazy. But I do still get nervous. But when I do it, I'm no longer Alex. I'm Almega. I'm a whole different person.
It's like anything. Yeah, it's like anything. We're making films, and you do what you have to do. Yeah. My basement is a green screen studio, and it's part of a castle. We wallpapers, fake. I mean, when you see this, it's going to blow you away. And it all falls on our shoulders on how to do it. And there are days where I'm like, how the hell am I going to do this?
I can't wait to visit you one day out there. I want to take a vacation because you're not the only one out there. We have 2 Crusaders that are close. So definitely could make that a trip. Visit 3 Crusaders. And again, if you need some your cowgirl to go and shoot somebody, I'm there for you, Lance.
You bet. It's we're rocking out here, and that's why we're here right now, to keep rocking. Check it out, the Big Book of Bob. It's gonna blow your mind.
I can't wait. Not just that, but it's the Lego stuff. So, folks, again, let's share stuff before we go. We're approaching the hour, so people's articles on my Comic Crusaders. You just like Lance Lucero. He's guiding you. He's sharing his knowledge and his experience, like real talk. It's great to actually read through that. And you follow that journey, you follow his advice. I think it's gonna help a whole lot of you that are going through similar experiences. But of course, check out that Legos. Like, you want to see some dope short films that'll definitely put a smile on your face. Because I know, Lance, bro, you have a great comedic sense as well. Don't sell yourself short on that. You have comedic timing. When I watch these joints, as a fan of comedy, I come out smiling every single time, laughing like, yo, homie bugging, son. He's so funny. And of course, please follow him on Twitter at Warehouse 9 Unlimited, so you can follow the whole greatness and find out when all that awesomeness is coming out through the ASAP Comics UK. Right there, go to the website so you can know where it is. I'm sure he's sharing all the links that'll take you straight to Paul's joint, so you can buy them books. And of course, because it's today, kid. Wepa!
This is awesome.
It's like a celebration, kid. I'm so proud of you.
It's a good celebration.
0 to 2 through there. You could pick up at the shop. Go right there to ne1world.com, folks. You could pick up this amazing book. It's gorgeous artistically. It's a gorgeously written book too. It has real stories. Like he said, it's one shots, bro. You're gonna be taking on an old school. You're gonna feel fulfilled, but you still want to know what Bob is up to. You know what I mean? And then wait till the show comes out. God damn, I can't wait till we can see this. For where? That's right, Paul. On stage. Look at that. Look at that right there with the swag. And we could get that type of swag on the website too, right?
It's coming soon. We're building it. We're gonna have an assortment of swag, Bob swag. That's gonna be pretty cool.
All right. What if somebody wanted to cosplay Bob? Are you gonna have cosplay versions of those scissors?
Yes, and here's the funny thing.
Said, oh shit.
You asked originally, the look of Bob. Where did it come from?
Mm-hmm.
I sent 2 pictures to Francesco Resendez 7 years ago, of the model of Bob. It was Buddy Holly. It was Buddy Holly and Elvis Presley.
Oh, why those 2?
They're sexy, man. You can't beat that. They have the hair. They have, and that's what it was all about. So and it was the idea of pointing about hair. I'm like, you got to understand. He's an amazing hairstylist. That's
why you grow your hair, bro. Because look at you too, bro. Like you got.
This is a pandemic. This is my pandemic cut. It's like I just said, forget it.
This is means that you don't have your own Bob. You're barberless, poor guy.
Pretty much, and I'm like, just let it grow, And if I had a Bob, he would do something with his mop. I would go there.
Oh shit! It doesn't look like a mop. You know what though? Let me do it, folks. Let me show you my fucking mop. I'm gonna do it.
Oh wow,
bro! I've got a mop myself. Like, yo, bro. If I wanted to go Bob style, look, I could do I could do Bananarama right now.
Probably, yeah. You need a Bob right now. You need a Bob. I'll donate.
Yo, bro, my wife tells me that shit all the time. You need Bob right now, yo, for real.
You need a Bob.
I know, baby. Look at this shit, bro. Bananarama. Hey!
That's awesome.
Yo, but Lance, you've been an amazing guest. Thank you for taking some time today to just hang out, talk about the book, ASAP Comics, Bob, we got the Waiting for Legros. Obviously, the comic book knowledge all over Comic Crusaders. Just look up Lance Lucero, please.
Yep.
For real. It's like good stuff. It's going to only help you guys on the journey. He's a real dude. And if people wanted to contact you other than just is Twitter the only place that can really hit you up or what?
Twitter, the website.
Right there.
Yeah. I mean, that's headquarters right there. But, I'm floating around Twitter. You'll always see me there. Anyoneworld.com. I'm easily accessible, and so are the books, and so are the films. I mean, nothing's hidden. The Vimeo sites are there. The YouTube channels are there of trailers and such. But because we're locked into the film festival circuit, The Last Resort, The Unmentionables, Hunting for Fish, they are not on a public platform because those are now in the festival circuit. Those are. If you really want to see it, you got to come out to a festival and sit in a movie theater with a lot of people and enjoy it.
And there you go. You've made me style my hair in a whole different way going forward.
You're working it there, man. You need to find a Bob out there in Florida.
I don't have a Bob. I had one in Massachusetts because I was right on the borderline of Rhode Island. So my barber was actually in Rhode Island. So people would laugh at me. I'm like, where's your barber? I was like, he's actually in Rhode Island, but it's actually across the street if you believe it.
That's hilarious because, it's like a good mechanic or a good dentist. You need a good Bob. You need someone to fix your hair.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. My wife has been my Bob, but she's apparently not doing a great job. You're dissing the skills on air, bro.
There's hope.
All right. With that, folks, thank you for hanging out. Wait, we got one more comment over here. Oh, shit. The mega flock of seagulls.
That is a flock of seagulls. British style. Yeah.
Oh shit! Where's Al's hat? That they put that shit back on. All right, bro. All right.
There it is. There. Okay, we're good now.
There you go. Guys. I'm sorry to scare the shit out of you with my fucking mop. Love you guys, though. Saludos, kid. Much love. Thank you for tuning in, Lance, bro. Is there anything else we should be aware of before we go?
Just today it's all about Bob. Today it's the big book of Bob. Everybody check it out. The trailers, the book. It's there for your enjoyment.
So buy it today at Any One World. Go check out that amazing website. Right there at the bottom, folks. All right, you see it. Don't play around. With that, Lance, thank you so much. My outro tells you what to do, folks, with the exception of please make sure to visit our swag shop if you want to get awesome t-shirts like this. At Teespring. All right. And also visit, listen, if you want to buy your comics, you don't have a local comic shop by you, you can visit comiccrusaders.shop for real. And you can actually get a pro list managed by Lucas Machina where you can actually pick up your newest comic books. And we just don't just cater to the big two, all right? I mean, we got everything. So if you want comics, you want cards, you want it all, go visit that website. But most importantly, though, what's key here is I want you to support my big homies right here. So go to anyoneworld.com, get them books right now. All right. So again,
right.
thank you for tuning in. Love you guys. Hasta la próxima.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.com and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.